Well, once again, thanks so much for being here, Dr. Rapp. I know
You're welcome.
your schedule has been absolutely crazy. I know a lot of our viewers want to know a little bit about you. Now, we all know you're an avid Texas Tech Red Raider fan.
Yes, I am.
We know that. So can you kind of maybe start maybe from around that point or even back up a little before that and bring us all the way current?
Sure. Thank you, Bill. Thank you for letting me be here today and talk with the listeners about our great school district. And I'm happy to share a little bit about myself so people do feel like they know a little bit more about this person who's leading the district that takes care of the future, which is our kids. For me, I really want to go back to why did I choose to become a teacher in the first place? Because I think it's important that people know the role that education played in my life. And so ultimately, I had a third grade teacher. Her name was Miss Robertson, who really took care of me during a traumatic third grade year. I grew up the daughter of a single mom who did not have a college degree and who was a wonderful, stable force in my life. But I'm proud to say, thanks to education, that I became the first female in my family to have a college degree and a master's degree and ultimately a doctorate degree. And so I chose teaching because education had such an impact on my life. It really got me out of circumstances and really changed my path. And so I got an undergraduate degree from Texas Tech University, graduated from there in 1996, came to the Colony High School to be a math teacher because at the end of the day, I wanted to change kids' lives just like my life had been changed. And I chose math because I believe so strongly that it helps give you problem-solving skills that help you in life. And I wanted kids to love it. And I knew math wasn't something that students tended to like. And I just felt like I could help them develop those problem-solving skills they would need for the future. So went to the Colony High School in 1996 and supported Cougar Nation for 8 years. And then ultimately from there stepped out of the classroom to help support our school district with math curriculum and support math teachers. And I did that for a while. And then I was asked to lead curriculum development for the whole district, pre-K through 12, all content areas. And then I did that for a season of time. And then when Dr. Rogers became superintendent 7 years ago, he hired me to be the assistant superintendent of learning and teaching. And in that time, I had the opportunity to learn about public education being under attack, really, by people. And the narrative that public education is not the best choice for students, and really felt the calling to get my doctorate degree and step up when it was going to be time. There's going to need to be a next generation of leaders to protect this institution that I really believe is the foundation of our society and our best investment in the future of our communities. So I got my doctorate degree from Dallas Baptist University. And after graduating with that, Dr. Rogers promoted me to deputy superintendent, and I served him in that role for the last 3 years of his 7 years as superintendent. And from there, decided to apply to become the superintendent of Lewisville ISD. And so I'm proud of all of my education along the way. Got my master's from Texas Woman's University, and just all of the universities that have been a part of my background have shaped who I am. But most importantly, the wonderful teachers that I had in school really allowed me to see that you don't have to be defined by your circumstances. And my story and my path really says that. And I'm proud, like I said, not only to be the first person in my family to earn a college degree, but then to be the first female to be selected as superintendent of Lewisville ISD.
What an awesome story. That is just so great to hear. I got to hear a little bit of that at a luncheon, just a few weeks ago, and I said, "Oh man, I hope she says that same thing," because that's all. So your entire education career has been with LISD.
Yes, so I'm in my 26th year
That's
with Lewisville ISD. Spent my whole career here. I think I'm a testimony to the investment that our school district makes in its employees. And I think that sets us apart, which we'll talk more about
Yeah.
later, I know.
Yeah. In fact, that's coming up. But before I even get to that, I was going to ask you, because you just mentioned it, in my position, I'm out always talking up LISD, but also, like you said, I also talk up public education.
Mm-hmm.
I think public the term itself and public education in general is taking a pretty bad rap, especially in Texas. No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended.
We'll get to that when we talk about your communication
Yes.
skills there. Before we move on, let's now hear from our sponsor, Bank of England.
BOE Texas got us alone.
Hello, this is Sean and Marcus with Bank of England Mortgage for your LISD podcast series.
That's right.
Hey, we want to reach out to our LISD family because we are actually LISD family as well. Sean and I graduated from Marcus High School back in '97.
That's right. And don't get it confused. Marcus Lepp actually graduated from Marcus High School. So even more of a tie. We're both alumni.
We're here to give back,
We are here to give back.
give to you, teach you how to buy a house,
That's right. We have tons of programs. We're licensed nationwide.
down payment assistance,
Anything you're looking for, whether it's looking to purchase, buy, or just get some more info, guys, come
maybe
check us out.
refinance, get some cash out.
That's right.
Equity is going up these days.
Come ask us. Everything's free to you guys. Check us out online. It's boetexas.com/LISD. Talk to you soon.
boetexas.com/LISD.
We call BOE Texas because BOE Texas gets us.
So, what do you think about that? What do you think about this, the current status of public education, especially in Texas?
Yes, I do think that there is a narrative against traditional public education, especially in Texas, but really across the country. I think there's a narrative that school choice is better for society than a traditional public education. The problem I have with that narrative is our society that has created many entrepreneurs, creative types, what we're so proud of with our economy in Texas and our state being a leader in all the states. Public education is what's graduating the majority of students in our state.
Exactly.
So the system's not broken. The public education system, our schools are the heartbeat of their communities. I grew up in a very small town, and I can tell you that that town was wrapped around, no pun intended.
There we go again.
Around the schools. And you see it here in Lewisville ISD, the pride, the camaraderie, the community, we are what brings the community together. We are what allows students to interact with each other from all different kinds of backgrounds and cultural backgrounds and experiences. And so I think we have to stand up against that narrative, because I think if we don't, it will harm our society to not have traditional public education.
You're right. And I think that in itself is one of the things I think that sets us apart from so many other different education alternatives. I mean, you're not going to get. One thing I always say is when you look at what I consider our competition, whether it be homeschooling, whether it be charters, you're just not going to see that. You're not going to get any. I say any. I mean, you're not going to get a lot of what the benefits that public education brings, especially here.
Right.
Don't you think?
I think so. I know that families have to make a decision they feel like is best for their family. Right. But at the end of the day, there's no greater accountability system than with traditional public education. We have a locally elected board of trustees that is held accountable by our community with the ultimate power of decision making in who they vote in to serve in those 7 chairs, that hold us accountable for the financial transparency of our resources and the learning for our students. And nowhere else is there a system in a different choice program that has that level of accountability to the taxpayers and the use of taxpayer dollars. And I'm proud that we're a part of that accountability system with the locally elected board.
I think that's one of the keys. You're right. I think the word accountability right there is one of the most important things in that whole scenario. I really do. So right along those lines, as we were saying earlier about the things that set us apart,
Yes.
Can you give us some of your thoughts? I have my own long list of things that I always talk about, but What are 2 or 3 of the things that you feel really sets LISD apart from everybody else?
Yes, first and foremost, I'm going to go back to the investment we make in our staff. And I'm going to start there because at the end of the day, having highly qualified staff to teach our students is what sets our district apart. We have a staff that is well trained, constantly being educated on the latest research-based practices. No one wants to feel as though their child is an experiment. And I also think that's part of the problem with charters and school choice is that you don't have the backing of great research-based training like what we have in our school district. So our staff is definitely one of the reasons why I would say people should choose our schools.
The retention rate alone, you're
our
right.
retention rate
is phenomenal.
is really strong. We have staff like myself who've been here 26 years or more, and then we have staff who are just starting their careers. We have a very well-balanced makeup of years of experience in our teachers, which is a benefit to the organization and to our kids to have that wide a range of experiences. The other thing I think that sets us apart is how we're always looking to ensure that our programs and our resources are state of the art with our taxpayer dollars. Tech West is an example of that. The support of our community for the 2017 bond, which is another hallmark of public education, allowed us to have this amazing facility and expand our programs of choice. Our STEM academies are something we're very proud of, as we know how important technology, math, and science is to the future of the workforce. Our dual language programs and our Spanish immersion programs that allow our students to develop multiple languages. Our fine arts and athletics are winners across the state. When we show up to a place to compete, other school districts get nervous. We're very proud of that. We have a long-standing reputation of quality programs. We have wonderful career and college readiness programs. We've got robust dual credit. We've got a collegiate academy. We've got advanced placement courses. We really provide our students with a wide array of choices, both in and out of the classroom. And we're constantly asking the question, are we doing the best for creating the future workforce? And I don't think you can ask much more of an organization than to constantly be analyzing what do we need to be offering for kids that prepares them for the future they're going to face.
That's so well said. And speaking of that, when you said that when we show up at a competition, the other schools kind of worry.
Yes.
I had the honor to interview Christy Lyles, our new athletic director here recently,
Yes.
and she made a point to say that LISD has won a state title the last 10 years in a row in one sport or the other.
Yes.
How many schools can say that? How many districts can say that?
Yes.
So you're right. I think,
Yes.
and there's just so many of them. I mean, you named 3 or 4 right there, and those are, each one of those are things that we've actually tried to focus some of our podcast on. In fact, the last podcast number 4 was Dr. Rivera.
Yes.
We talked about all the immersion programs and the language programs. It was just awesome. Okay, so we know that it's not going to always be milk and honey down these roads, that there are obstacles. There are some major challenges.
There are.
I don't want to say major challenges, but there are challenges.
Yep, there are.
Can you tell us, what are some of those that you think you're going to be dealing with possibly?
Well, one of the challenges goes back to actually staff. We know that we have a generation of educators who are closer to retirement, and we know that the pipeline of students who are choosing to enter education as their choice in college and the university programs is not at the same pace of our educators who are reaching retirement age. This was going to be an issue before the pandemic hit. What's happened is the pandemic has accelerated people's decisions to do something different with their life, or go ahead and retire and go spend time with their grandchildren, or go choose, to do something else. And so it's accelerated the pace at which we're facing a shrinking pipeline. And so staffing is one of the top challenges. Recruiting new staff to the district, retaining the staff that we have. One thing we know is we have quality special education programs. That sets us apart as well. We have people who move to our school district because of the reputation in serving our students with unique needs and learning differences. And that's a field where there's not a lot of students choosing to become special educators. So we are going to have to get creative. I'm proud to say we've awarded grants to paraprofessionals who are aides that are in our classrooms. Several of those were in our special education classrooms to help them finish and earn their teaching certification. Our board just passed the highest raise for campus staff that I think has been over the last 10 years, one of the highest raises they'll receive. But a challenge with that is that we are not increasing in our financial resources. The state, what happens is as our property values go up, the state contribution to our schools goes down. And special education itself has never been fully funded from the federal government or at the state level. We spend about $40 million more on special education than what we are provided from the state and the federal government. And so that's a challenge. How do you competitively pay your staff, ensure you have the resources you need when your budget is shrinking? Because ultimately our enrollment is shrinking a little bit, which is probably the third challenge because it creates a financial challenge. The price values of our homes make it difficult for new families to move into our area. People love our community and they stay in their homes. And so our homes don't tend to sell at the rate of a fast growth community anymore. We were fast growth at one time. When I came here, there were 3 high schools, LHS, Marcus, and the Colony. And I got to see Hebron become opened and Flower Mound, and people love their neighborhoods. And as their kids graduate, they're staying in the neighborhood, which is great, but it doesn't generate new students to the school district. So those are probably our top challenges.
Actually, I guess, you're right, challenges, but good problems to have, really,
is.
right?
It
when
is.
you compare to the alternative, obviously. Yeah. Well, there's a few more things I want to ask you about, but before we do that, I'd like to introduce you to our second sponsor, Shields Sports. We'll be right back. The Colony Shields is the world's largest destination sporting goods store. With over 85 specialty shops, they have everything from clothing and shoes to camping, hunting, fishing, and more. The Shields shopping experience also includes a variety of different attractions, experiences, and photo opportunities throughout the store. Whether you want to ride the 65-foot Ferris wheel or spend time looking at the fish in their 16,000-gallon aquarium, this sporting goods store really does have something for everyone. Stop by Shields in the Colony today. All right, well, welcome back. Well, Dr. Rapp, you have spoken a lot in the past on the role that you feel parents play in the overall success of really everything, the success of their kids' education, the success of how LISD and the parents and the students work together. What really do you think that the parents can do to help that situation and make our district even better than it is?
Yeah, that's a great question, Bill. I do believe strongly in the support of our parents or a trusted adult, a community member in the life of a student is critical to the success of students and to the support of our schools. And having parents who support our schools, who get involved in the education of their child, that helps their child also connect with them, and it helps them better support their child at home in their learning, which this is a partnership. Education is truly a partnership between the schools and the parents. And ultimately, we know that we serve a wide array of students who come from a wide variety of backgrounds. And we know that not every student in our school district has a parent who can be involved as much as they would like in the education of their child. We know we have parents who work multiple jobs throughout the day to make ends meet. And so, that's why it's so important that our community members get also involved in our schools. The power of mentoring a student, the power of a student seeing an adult that's supporting their teacher, that's valuing education, it makes more of an impact than what people even really realize. And it helps lift our teachers up. I talked about the challenge of keeping staff. And one of the things that always happens when parents or community members are in our buildings is they're impressed with our teachers. They compliment them. They compliment our principals, our assistant principals. They go out and they tell how great our schools are. And that honestly provides more encouragement to a teacher and to a principal than sometimes what we could even pay them for. These people got into these jobs to serve. They're wanting to help kids. They're wanting to make a difference. And so a positive word to them goes such a long way. And so I would just say to all the parents, the community members who are listening, your partnership in our schools and support of our schools, it helps not only your child, but it helps our community stay strong. And it helps our kids see that education is important. Education is something they need to take seriously. There are students in other countries who don't get the right every day to get an education that can help them find their passion, help their workforce, give back to their community, or get out of whatever circumstances they may be in. So support of people in our schools is just critical.
You know, you're so right, and I that was really well said. And I have first knowledge on that with our incubator program as a mentor of our incubator program to see what being a coach or a mentor does. You're so right. Just the way they react to you and the appreciation that they have, the students themselves have over that. You know, it is amazing. Yeah. So one thing that when I first started with the district, another a person in administration said to me, I thought was really interesting. They said that, sometimes it's hard to stay focused and keep intact with their vision, and keep strong. And whenever things started to kind of go bad or they had a bad day, they couldn't wait to get back into the classroom around students.
Yes.
That was this gentleman's number one thing. It said, as soon if I could get back in front of kids, I'm fine. And it would settle all the problems and it would make everything worthwhile again. Do you have anything that you kind of do that, to try to stay focused when those obstacles and challenges really kind of grab you? And do you have anything special that you do?
Yeah, Bill, I would say a couple of things. One, I really work to always be connecting with teachers, principals, assistant principals, and kids. For me, any connection that I have every single day with helping support one of our campus leaders, helping support one of our department leaders, and ultimately, yes, being on campus with kids and with teachers will always keep you grounded into why.
That's the word I was looking for. It definitely keeps you grounded.
Into why you do this in the first place.
Yeah.
Kids have a great energy. Our younger students have great questions that they want to either find the answers to or help solve. And our middle school students, our high school students, just them figuring out who they are, what do they like to do, what are they passionate about. I have so many stories about kids who are giving back to our community, kids who are encouraging their teachers, kids who are supporting a cause, a need, they're wanting to make their schools better. I had a kid stop me in the parking lot. He had seen my picture somewhere, of course, around.
You're famous now.
And he said, "You can help make the lunch food better," And I love that. Some people might view that as, well, is that a complaint? And I don't view it that way. I view it as a kid wanting to make our school better, and that's my job to listen to those ideas and see how we can improve. And our cafeteria staff does a great job, and having a student that wants to help support them is critical. So all of those kind of things keep me grounded on those hard days.
That's so awesome. Yeah, because you wouldn't know that I'm not saying there's a problem, but you wouldn't even know about that unless
that's right.
that particular student happened to walk up to you and tell you that.
That's right.
Well, I think we've already kind of got a taste of your awesome communication skills. I think that not only in this podcast, but from what we've seen, you have been in 60 days. I mean, you've been out there.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, Dr. Rapp's communication plans and what the expectations can be for us all.
Yes, well, I'm so proud to get to brag on our communications team and on you and the work that our great team in communications is doing to help bring that communications vision to life. My hope and wish was to establish regular communication cycles with our staff and with our community. And so one of the things that our team helped me with right from the start was getting my staff and community newsletters. So the wrap up for staff and the
Everybody loves
report
that. There's so many
for-
ways you can use that word, right?
I know. Who
You
would have thought, really,
Yeah.
that that's possible? But
Yeah.
right from the start, just establishing that I'm going to be communicating the stories, the needs of our school district, highlighting the work of our board as well, because they give tirelessly to our school district. But the communications team, all of them, have just knocked it out of the park with supporting my vision of being able to get input, feedback, communicate in a variety of ways through social media channels, through those newsletters, through videos, through this podcast today, through all of the meetings, the meet and greets, the 100-day whirlwind tour that I'm on to see people, which has its own hashtag called
In
Rap
fact,
on
we
the
didn't mention
Road.
that, did we? Yeah, the 100-day tour.
Plan, yes.
That's and you're 60-something days into that.
Yes.
And that's to try to reach every school? Is
Yes,
that right?
yes.
Every campus.
It will take me all the way till the end of the school year to get around to all the schools, which
That's
is
so
just
awesome.
a smidge beyond the 100 days.
Wow.
But really to get out there, see everybody, get input from them, get their feedback as well. I have an easy just QR code. I tell them, it's not that I don't know our school district, but to get as much input from our staff and our community in this 100 days as possible helps me make better decisions for our district. But I'm proud to be visible on social media and thankful for the support. And I've already heard people say that they're so thankful for the newsletters. They're excited about what I'm putting in there. I love to get feedback about what people want to see in the newsletters. And should we face any kind of continued crisis again or emergency, you'll see that communication also will have its own dedicated format. It will be regular in its delivery to our families and to our staff, if sometimes to say nothing more than all is okay and we're continuing to respond. So I just plan on telling the stories of our school district, helping our community understand our schools, support our schools, and just be able to celebrate our great staff, our departments, and our teachers.
Couldn't have said it better. What a great way to wrap this up. Well, listen, thank you so much, Dr. Rapp,
You're
for
welcome.
coming out. I know your
Thank
schedule's
you.
been absolutely crazy, and continued best of luck to you.
Thank you, and I look forward to
this new
coming back
position.
again.
Absolutely, yeah. I think I've already made some notes on things that we can talk about
All
next
right.
time.
That'd be great. Thanks.
And
Bill.
thanks to all of you for watching. I want to thank our amazing crew. Remember, this is a complete 100% student-run crew here. I'd like to thank everybody. So until next time, from all of us at LISD, go out and make it a great day.